Hi guys, today we're going to take a listen to and fix up an acoustic guitar track that has finger squeaks and click track bleeding through from the headphones. And we're going to use a Spectral cleaner to clean up this track. So let's dive right into this. First thing we're going to do is open up the Spectral cleaner with the track in it. Hit play. Let's go after the first squeak that we hear right there. Now, when we zoom in on this actual squeak that's happening, you notice there's a couple different things to look at. We have a note that's at the beginning, we have the main note that's right on the beat, and behind it we have the actual string resonating. Now, we can try different places to see which is the actual squeak. In this case, the squeak is right on the line marker, and it's also basically full spectrum, so very easy to see. So we'll draw a box around it that doesn't go too low into the frequency spectrum because we want to leave the resonating acoustic guitar notes to ring out. So let's take a listen. Great. Now we can also go up here and change the resolution, which gives you a completely different result. Depending on the sound that you're using, you might want to use it. Let's bring it back down to 512. Great. Now, if we had taken the actual box and brought it all the way down full spectrum, we'll lose some of the bottom end. So it's we want to try to only remove the frequencies that are actually the problem. That sounds good. Now, we have a strength knob right here, which allows you to actually go through and give a blend of the original signal and then the filtered out. So if it was too strong, having it completely gone, and you're missing some of the naturalness of the guitar playing, you can actually just bring the strength down a little bit and have some left in. For now, let's just pull it all the way out. Cool. Now we can change from a simple crossfade where the signal fades in and out from the signal that's being removed to a couple different options that are interesting. Damping just cuts it out completely. Depending on the sound source, of course, this might be what you actually want. There's an interesting one called Gap, which basically gives you a weird comb filtering effect, which I've actually used as an effect as opposed to anything else. But really, crossfade, the default setting of crossfade is really the one that I end up using most of the time. Now, when we're done, we can go through and we can mark many of these different things, hit calculate, and it applies it to the file permanently. Now, one other place, though, we want to look at is at the very end where we have the click track bleeding through. This should be really straightforward because hopefully the click track is lined up with the actual measures. If it's not, then there's something else going on in your world. But for now, let's look at the click track that's bleeding through. While the guitar player is holding out the note, we'll go through and we'll clean out all of these clicks, being careful not to destroy the acoustic guitar that's ringing. Now, we want to be careful. We don't want to take too much of the signal out because we'll actually lose the guitar. Now, of course, there's bleed all the way through the song, but the last thing we want to do is pull out all of those that are in the song because we will lose too much guitar as opposed to just losing the click when no one else is actually hearing the click on playback. Obviously, if you're hearing it really loud, go through and pull it out. Let's take a listen with just a standard setting. Now, if I had actually pulled full spectrum on this, the guitar that we're working with would actually disappear, and you'd hear the dropout. That's why you have to be very careful not to pull out parts of the spectrum that you don't actually need to. You need to do a lot of trial and error if it's the first time that you've worked on one of these cleaners. Now, you could also just plain redraw. And also I heard one back here. So let's listen to this section now. There you go. It's very easy and a very fast way to go through an acoustic track and clean out all the different noises. And there are so many noises that come into this studio that when we go to start mixing, we have to do a lot of restoration work because a lot of tracks nowadays are being recorded in bedrooms, houses, small project studios. Even some of the big guys have sent me some tracks that have needed a lot of cleaning. And the Spectral Cleaner is a very fast and efficient way to go through and clean out these tracks. I would definitely suggest going through and trying it, and try removing elements of the actual sound source that's supposed to be there. For instance, a snare drum from an overhead track, pull the snare drum out. Of course, other places I use it are when the drummers hit sticks together during a drum fill. You can pull the sticks out instantly out of the overheads and all the other mics using the Spectral Cleaner. So it's very powerful. Hopefully this has helped you out, and if you have any questions, give me an email. Thanks.